64 teams, more than 500 student athletes, all have traded their campus for another, the USTA National Campus. North Carolina won the very first Tennis on Campus championship back in 2000. The Tar Heels are in a very familiar place, advancing to the finals for the second time in 3 years. Can they win their third national title? In their way, Ohio State. Fresh off a come-from-behind semifinal victory over San Diego, the Buckeyes have clawed their way to their first shot at a national championship. The finals of the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship. Next.
USTA Tennis on Campus.
Without it, I would be the nerd in the library, having no social life. We're a social club with a big tennis problem.
Do it in a heartbeat.
You make a lot of friends.
Playing for your team and playing with your friends.
I love being a part of the team.
You get the fun of playing tennis, but not too much pressure.
I think it's an awesome way
to continue to play competitively.
I like that it's co-ed.
It's co-ed, it's a good time.
Tennis on campus strikes a pretty good balance
between school and athletics.
Students first and then athletes second.
It's the best of both worlds.
Another way to really bond with your team.
Giving back to the community.
Habitat for Humanity.
Project Nepal.
Ronald McDonald House.
We hit with the YMCA juniors.
You'll make the best friends you ever make in your life.
We have a great time.
We do a lot of fun things.
We all hang out outside of playing tennis.
We study together, play tennis together, go to movies together.
We're more like family.
We just have a blast every time we're together.
It's a really great way to meet people and carry on your love of tennis. Keep up your tennis game and have a lot of fun.
It'll make your college experience great. USTA Tennis on Campus.
Rocks.
Done.
And welcome to the USTA National Campus, a picture-perfect backdrop for the culmination of 3 days of competition. Florida sunshine's been plentiful throughout the week, and that continues tonight as we settle in for the finals of the Tennis on Campus National Championships. And welcome to our live coverage. I'm Brian Clark alongside Cece Bellis, one of America's best-known tennis stars. And Cece, it's great to have you on our team for what's a fantastic team event here at the National Campus.
Oh yes, I'm so excited to be here, Brian, and I'm so excited to watch the tennis tonight. I've seen some awesome tennis so far this week, and I think it's going to be a great final.
Both of these teams, North Carolina and Ohio State, ran into some tough roads to get to the final. They both won some exciting semifinal matches, but they are here to take on each other for the national championship in 2018. We're also joined by Andy Dunscombe, but right now let's head down to the court for the player introductions and Dave Peters.
And welcome to the USTA National Campus here in Lake Nona, Florida for the 2018 USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship match. We are ready. 2 days ago, we started with 64 of the nation's top club teams, and we're down to the final two for the right to call themselves national champions. It's going to happen in just a few minutes right here on Stadium Court. Let's first meet our championship match staff, and let's welcome to the court now our ball kids for today's match. And now let's welcome our championship teams to the court. First, the Tar Heels from the University of North Carolina. And they'll face off against the Buckeyes from The Ohio State University. Let's meet today's players. We'll start with the visiting team. On the scoreboard will be North Carolina. A senior business administration major from Greensboro, North Carolina, Connor Cook. A sophomore economics major from Lakeland, Florida, Holloman Hughes. A political science and photojournalism major, a senior from Lakeland, Nelson Hughes. A freshman global studies major from Cary, North Carolina, Ellie Johnson. A senior journalism major from Richmond, Virginia, Carolyn Jones. A senior business administration major from Charlotte, North Carolina, Zandra Lee. A senior history major from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Claire Lieberman. A senior biology major from Charleston, South Carolina, Seth Panoski. A junior English major from Greenville, North Carolina, Ravi Tiwari. And finally, a senior biostatistics major from Fayetteville, North Carolina, Helen Zhang. Those are the Tar Heels from UNC Chapel Hill. And now for the Buckeyes from Ohio State. An actuarial science major from a sophomore from Akron, Ohio, Gavin Ayton. A junior poli-sci major from Springboro, Ohio, Michael Beatty. A junior economics major from Chagrin Falls, Ohio, it's Natasha Beers. A freshman health sciences major from Akron, Ohio, Paige Carmichael. A sophomore accounting major from Dublin, Ohio, Rohith Kuneru. A sophomore majoring in biology from Toledo, Alicia Nahas. A freshman public health major from Cincinnati, Lily O'Toole. A freshman business major also from Cincinnati, Noah Stern. A freshman accounting major from Columbus, or also from Dublin, it's Ryan Worthen. And a junior finance major from Orange Village, Ohio, it's Adrian Young. The team captains for the Buckeyes include Izzy Najedlik. She is a senior, speech and hearing sciences major, and Wesley Pikarzik. He's a sophomore. They are the Buckeyes from Ohio State University. At this time, please stand and remove all hats to honor America and those who protect it with the singing of our national anthem. Tonight performed by Sager Ace. Sager. Sager. It's okay.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sager, and good luck to both teams. A handshake at midcourt, and we'll get started.
We're here with some very excited North Carolina Tar Heels after their semifinal win over Stanford. They're on to the championship match here at the Tennis on Campus National Championship. Talking to Nelson Hughes and Xandra Lee, two of the seniors here. Nelson, this is familiar territory for you guys. You were in the final 2 years ago in Cary, just miles away from Chapel Hill. Came up a bit short. How does that experience help tonight?
Well, I think you say familiar territory, but the tournament has changed a lot, and it's gotten even stronger competition. And I think a difference here is every single match we've had this tournament has been an absolute battle, where for the last time it was some of them we were kind of cruised. But this one, you know, it's just I feel like we've had to play at a higher level to get here, and that's been the difference.
And we certainly saw that this morning with the come-from-behind win against Stanford. Xandra, how did you guys pull that off?
Well, honestly, it kind of has to be attributed to our singles player, Connor Cook, and then our mixed doubles, you know, helped us come back and kind of clutch out some really important games there. And then just the team and us being hype and working together kind of helped us pull it through.
So you guys were trailing late, and you talk about the individual players. It's a team effort, and the way you guys came back, does that just show with this kind of format how you've got to be into every single match, every single point, because every cog in the wheel makes the difference?
Exactly, yeah. When you're playing, you know every point matters in every game. So I think that kind of makes you focus in and try to clutch out every single point you can, and it definitely is more difficult and brings in the focus for sure.
And Nelson, what has to happen for you guys to be national champions tonight?
Well, I think what has to happen is we need to stop having mixed put all the team on their back, because that's essentially what they've been doing this tournament. They have, in all the big matches against Michigan and then against yesterday against UCLA, I think we were down every time that they've stepped on the court. And you know, we just need to not make them do it all, even though they clearly can. Like, the key tonight is not being down going into mixed.
That's the North Carolina Tar Heels, the finalists in tonight's Tennis on Campus National Championships.
Or follow the hashtag TOCNationals on Twitter. The link is there too. We'll also archive the broadcast so you can watch it later.
As we say, one of the courts here on this campus, CC, you are based out of here for your professional career. Just what an incredible setting for American tennis.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I think it's probably the best setting that any tennis pro could get from all around the world, and I think that's what a lot of players are saying now once they've seen it and been down here. But yeah, it's really an honor to be able to get to practice down here.
And that's what these players are experiencing. We heard from North Carolina. Let's now hear from Ohio State, the other finalists in tonight's national championship. They came from Columbus. Now they're playing for a national championship here at the USTA National Campus in Orlando. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes with the captains Wesley Pekarsky and Izzy Najedlik. Izzy, we'll start with you. You're a senior. What's it like to be here in the national championship?
It is amazing. We actually didn't qualify last year, so being back after being here 2 years ago and placing higher than we ever imagined placing is amazing. The team is so great. I love them.
What was the biggest change from getting close 2 years ago, not qualifying last year, now you're playing for it all? What changed the most?
We have a slightly different team, a lot of really great freshmen. Honestly, I think our team camaraderie this year is phenomenal. We did awesome in Cary and won the Fall Invitational. We got third at sectionals, and just the momentum that we've carried through this whole year has really brought us here, I think.
And Wesley, you're one of those younger players. You're a sophomore. You've played a big role here. What's it like where you've got that entire team group? You've got young people contributing. You've got seniors. How does that really help just you guys bonding and moving towards this title?
I think because we spend so much time together, we really get a good bond. Like Izzy said, we won Cary. And every trip we always look forward to spending time together in these longer trips like at Nationals. It's just a really good time to hang out with everyone. And it helps us obviously get better too as we're playing all the time.
Taking on North Carolina in the final after a semifinal win over San Diego. What was the key this morning in the semifinal?
Wow. So this morning in the semifinal, all right. Wow. Well, Natasha played amazing, and she's been on fire the past couple matches. So putting her in for doubles and mixed and having someone so solid, she's holding her serve again in mixed, and that service game that we came back, Noah was serving, we were down low 40, coming back in that game, and then Natasha holding her next serve and getting the momentum back in that mixed doubles was huge. Gavin has had some huge wins here. He had a really hard match today, and he pulled it out at the end for us, and Adrian got a bunch of games for us too. Overall, everyone has been pulling their weight. Each match has been close, and yeah, people are doing great.
So the greatest would be winning the national championship. Wesley, what has to happen tonight for that to take place?
I think what we're really good at is like going into every match just from a blank start, not taking the wins or losses from before, and just really like giving it our all. So I think that's what we'll do tonight.
It's Ohio State and North Carolina for the national championship. Buckeye Nation in the house here at the USTA National Campus in Lake Nona, Florida. Some of the Ohio State fans, the 40th anniversary this year of Ohio State club tennis, and there'd be no better way to mark that anniversary than by winning its first ever national title. There you see the Buckeyes men's doubles players warming up. It's Noah Stern and Gavin Ayton. They're taking on the Carolina men's doubles duo, who will meet in just a moment, of Nelson Hughes and Seth Pinsky. But Cece, the format here is different. If you're familiar with World Team Tennis, this should ring some bells. So the way it's played, it's a 5-set match, but each competition, let's say, is 1 set. So the men's doubles, 1 set. First at 6 games, no ad scoring, and they'll play a tie break if it gets to that. Then followed that, women's singles, then the women's doubles, men's singles, then the mixed doubles, and the trailing team. There's some interesting scoring here where if you're trailing, you win the mixed doubles. Let's say you're still losing in the match, you can keep playing until you lose a game. In that case, you'll force a super tie break. We'll get to that later on if we need to get there. But the thing to remember basically when you watch this match, cumulative scoring. It's not like regular tennis. It is like regular tennis in that a set will go 6-4. But if a team wins a set 6-4 and then loses the next set 6-3, they're going to be losing.
Right.
To think of it that way. So you basically have to be doing math as you're playing tennis at the same time.
Exactly. I think it's actually a pretty cool format, and it's definitely, something different than normal pro tennis matches or other types of tennis, but I think it's obviously a great mix-up, and it's going to be really fun to watch tonight.
And fun's the key word here, and talking to these players and just seeing this tournament over the last couple of days, it's fun. This is not a varsity NCAA sport. It's club tennis, so yeah, you play some high-level tennis. You're playing for a national championship, 2 well-known schools, but you're having a lot of fun, and everybody who we've met, they're not nervous. They're like, oh, we're playing in the national championship. It's like any other match. They're
right.
used to this.
Yeah, they seem, so excited to play, not too nervous, and I think, all the teams have really gotten along with each other too. It doesn't seem too, competitive in a bad way, so it's awesome, and it seems like they're having a great time.
And the way things go, though, when you look at the experience, very different experiences. This North Carolina team is a veteran team. They lost the national championship 2 years ago in Cary, North Carolina, which is basically a stone's throw from campus in Chapel Hill. But this Ohio State team, they won the Fall Nationals, but this is their first time in the championship, only their second time in the national championship tournament. So it's really uncharted ground for a very young Buckeyes team, too, that only has 1 senior.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very interesting to see if their experience, I guess on both teams pays off tonight. And I think, it'll be interesting to see if North Carolina uses some motivation from their finals in the last few years and to see if that gives them a little extra motivation to win tonight.
And now there is plenty of motivation. You can hear it between points. It's not like we're at Wimbledon here where you've got to be quiet as a mouse in church. You can cheer, you can coach. Coaching is allowed. The only time coaching is not allowed is during a point. So you can't tell your teammate, oh, that's going out, let it go, anything like that. But once the point's over, you've got 20 seconds to, if you notice something with a teammate. But it just seemed like from talking to everybody, yeah, all the coaching helps, but at a certain point, it's tennis. You still have to go out and beat the other person. Yeah,
for sure. And I think another cool aspect of this format is that you can sub out players during matches as well. And I think, a team can kind of make a executive decision if they think, one player's shot would be more effective against their opponent compared to another's if that person's playing or, so-and-so. But I think it's awesome they can do that too. It'll make that very interesting.
Each player, though, is limited to 2 sets per match. And even if you come in as a sub, let's say you play 1 point, they bring you in to close out the set. Even if you come in, that counts as a set. However, if it goes to a super tiebreaker, which would be a 13-point tiebreak, so whoever gets 7 points there, then anybody can play. You can come back in for that. But each player limited to 2, and we'll start, as we said, with the men's doubles, followed by the women's singles, women's doubles, men's singles, and mixed doubles. 1 set for each of those matches. And after that, or perhaps a super tiebreak, we will have a national champion. Will it be North Carolina or will it be Ohio State? North Carolina's won this tournament twice before its first 2 years, 2000 and 2001. Tar Heels have not won it since. Ohio State's never won it. They're trying to do that right now, and Noah Stern will serve first for the Buckeyes.
a good way to win the first point of the match for Nelson Hughes, putting it away at net like that. Does that help when you put down that kind of emphatic exclamation point?
I think so. That was an awesome first point. I think it just shows how little nerves they're feeling right now and how, just excited they are to be out here.
Players call their own lines. There is a chair umpire, though. It's Irina Henry. Now, we talked about the fun aspect here, but okay, it's a national championship. There's still some pressure, and losing the first 2 points on serve, it's not the way you want to get things going, so maybe that is the moment speaking.
Yes, agreed.
Buckeyes on the board. Hammer of a serve.
Big serve there.
And it basically seemed from Noah Stern that once the Buckeyes got on the board, then it was like, okay, there's the exhale. Now he's hammering a first serve.
I think that's definitely a normal reaction. I would say a lot of players have felt like that for sure.
If you're playing doubles in a big match like this, do you want to be the first person to serve? Do you want to be on the first team to serve? Where do you feel most comfortable?
I think it really depends on the player and, the team. And if, one of the players has a really big serve, I think it's always nice to start off with that. I think that's important for sure.
Second serve coming for Stern. Gavin Ayton at the net, poaching away, and Ohio State holds serve to begin this national championship. It's pretty textbook right there, just at the net and slamming the door shut.
Very solid.
Now we get our first look at North Carolina. It'll be Nelson Hughes to serve. Good-looking first serve of his own, but Noah Stern had the answer there.
He seems to have loosened up a bit from the first 2 points for sure.
It's 5 straight points for Ohio State here. And they'll get a look at a second serve. Make it 6 in a row for the Buckeyes, and maybe some Carolina nerves creeping in. This Ohio State team, you can really see just how comfortable Noah Stern is at the baseline. A10 hasn't been called on too much at the net, but when he has, he's answered the bell. They just seem very content to fire away.
Yeah, they seem like power is a huge strength of theirs. I think they're going to probably use this as much as they can today.
They've got 3 break points to work with here. And they only need 1, the early break to Ohio State here in the men's doubles. Talk about momentum. North Carolina won the first 2 points on Ohio State's serve. Buckeyes have not lost a point since. As we see Gavin Ayton get ready to serve for the first time.
What's interesting also is they have changeovers every 4 games in this format as well, not every 2. Seems like you'd get a bit thirsty.
Talked about Noah Stern at the net, but he looked pretty good right there. He's maybe more comfortable at the baseline, but he showed what he can do when he comes in. And finally, Carolina stops the bleeding. Nelson Hughes splits the Buckeyes, but that's what it's taking right now just to get a point off Ohio State. Seems like North Carolina's been trying to hit it away from Noah Stern, but he's finding a way to keep himself in these points.
Yeah, he's doing a lot to move to get to the ball for sure.
Gavin Ayton, a sophomore from Akron, Ohio. And the Buckeyes rolling early here in the men's doubles. Take the first 3 games of this match. Still no changeover. That comes after the 4th game. But North Carolina does not want to switch ends. Down love 4. To avoid that, they're going to need a big serving game here from Seth Panoski. Panoski's just missed as Noah Stern was right on top of it. Stern looking very comfortable playing the angles there in the wider doubles court.
Yeah, he seems to be using the full court really well today.
There it was A-10 using the full court, and once again Ohio State right into the Carolina service game. Once again, Carolina approaching the danger zone. Maybe a little too much adrenaline from Noah Stern.
Definitely confident.
With good reason from what we've seen so far from the Buckeyes.
It's a great thing.
A lot of fighting back. You see the fist pumps to each other. And really at any level, you're a professional right here with the Tennis on Campus program, but just the encouragement you get from your doubles teammate. So you're not the only person on court. That's got to be huge.
Oh yeah, it's huge. I think that's one of the most important parts about doubles for sure.
Miss hit from Panoski. Remember, no ad scoring here, so if Carolina can win this point, they'll play a deciding point. And that's exactly what they'll do. So the receiver chooses, and Noah Stern says, I'll take it. So it'll be Panoski serving to Noah Stern. It's always the receiver's choice, except for in mixed, when you have to serve to the equivalent gender. That first serve was a bit long. Now a second serve on deciding point. And that second serve missed, and it's all Ohio State here as they switch ends. Carolina players greeted by their teammates as they head to the net just to try to regroup a bit, because right now, Cece, it's all Ohio State.
Yeah, Ohio State's been really coming out and really doing their best right now. I think this is awesome from them, and just really trying to be as aggressive as possible, and they seem to really be working out.
The other thing that's interesting too with a match like this, if you're playing professional tennis just on tour or regular college tennis, what happens is, okay, if I lose a set 6-love, 6-2, it doesn't matter. Here it does, because, okay, let's say Ohio State still comes back and hangs on to win this set. If North Carolina loses 6-love, that's a lot different than 6-2, because those 2 points could be key later on.
Right, I think that's the most important part of this type of a format, is just trying to win as many games as possible, and I think that's why North Carolina is still, so positive, even though they're down by a little bit right now, is I think, every game counts to end up, being in the final score.
And something else to keep in mind is North Carolina was in a position very similar to this morning in their semifinal against Stanford, where the Tar Heels were down late in the match and came back and won in the mixed doubles. Ohio State also in a tough semifinal, but hung on to beat UC San Diego. Buckeyes here trying to go up 5-love as Noah Stern, who held serve impressively in the opening game of this match, serves after the change of ends. So Stern missed that shot, but something he does very well, Cece, is he hits a bad ball well. The ball might come back, it might float a bit, it might knuckle, and he still gets a very clean look at that ball.
Yeah, he seems to have really good, feel around his racket and feel on the ball, so I think that's a really big part of his game.
Miss hit from Nelson Hughes. Of course, these teams can substitute anytime they want. That doesn't really look to be an option right now for either team. At this point, kind of just go with what brought you here. Gavin Aten going for the style points. Didn't miss it by much with that Pete Sampras-like overhead.
Definitely the right shot. I think he just might have mishit it a little bit. It's a bit windy.
So the first game after the change of ends is still adjusting. Like Carolina's using patience as an advantage right now. Well, we talked about the patience. We also talked about the power. That was the power from Noah Stern to bring us to a deciding point. Very important deciding point as North Carolina just tries to get on the board in this national championship.
These deciding points are really tough. I think all players feel some sort of nerves on these.
It favors the server, though, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Also favors the guy with good hands at net. In that case, it's Gavin A10. Buckeyes up 5-love. Buckeye Nation's happy, and Andy Dunscombe's in the middle of it. Andy.
Everyone, I'm Andy, live from Buckeye Nation, sitting here with Dave DeGenlick. Dave, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
You guys are up. How you feeling about the match?
I'm feeling great. These guys are absolute studs. They're great players, great guys, and this is what we've seen all tournament. I'm really performing exceedingly well.
And here we go. They're about to serve to get this match. You got an early lead going. Let's see how this plays out.
Absolutely. You know, yeah. All of these matches, the ebb and flow and the tension that builds, and it always has been coming down to the mixed doubles, and it's just been incredible, right? It's just been so much fun to be here and to see this great tennis and to root for a team that you really feel strongly about. It's just a great experience.
It's awesome. You got Buckeye Nation now here. You got River the Lab cheering it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is exciting. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and we've all had a great time down here in Florida. This is a phenomenal facility. I've gotten to know the players and the parents, you know, through the week. We've all had a great time and really enjoyed Florida, particularly coming from Cleveland where it's been snowy. So,
awesome. Thank you so much, Dave, for spending time. Good luck with the rest of the match.
Great. Thank you very much.
Ohio State now 2 points away from the opening set as Andy and Buckeye Nation are enjoying every point, especially right now with the way Ohio State's going. North Carolina a little unhappy with a foot fault that was called on Nelson Hughes' serve on the opening point of this game. Carolina recovered to win that point, but Ohio State just 2 points away. The women's singles up next. And that looks to be on its way, as it's now double set point, maybe more importantly, a bagel set. When you look at the cumulative scoring of this match, if Ohio State can win 6 games before North Carolina wins 1, you are well positioned as you try to win your first national title.
Yeah, this would be a huge first set for them. I think that'd be a huge advantage going into the next set as well. A little less pressure for the next players too, I would say.
Can't get a better cushion than that. You got a better looking serve than that. It certainly fooled the receiver. It's Nelson Hughes and the Tar Heels trying to just get that one game because they know how important that is. Trying to force this one to a deciding point. Opening set to Ohio State in emphatic fashion. The Buckeyes take it 6-love. What a performance from Noah Stern and Gavin A10. A lot of warm handshakes at net too, but we also saw each player was able to just, they alternated in their strengths. We saw the power, we saw the hands, we saw the good serves, we saw the net play. Ohio State did it all there.
Yeah, I think they both of their styles really complemented each other as a team, so I think that's what really did it for them today. That's definitely going to be a good feeling going into the second round.
Ohio State only hit 2 winners in that entire set. To only hit 2 winners in that entire set and win it 6-love, well, that means that Carolina was making a couple mistakes, but also that Ohio State was just playing patient, just getting the ball in the court. So we've got Ohio State with a commanding lead early in this national championship. Let's head down to the court here on the USTA National Campus and join the PA announcer Dave Peters.
Things really fly. Oh, a swing and a miss. And we have our first elimination. We're going to rotate to the next player. Dayton up right now. Here comes Arizona. Takes a little practice. Oh. Well, this could... We're going to rotate it out on the Dayton side as well. Not as easy as it looks. That looks a bit wide. Second serve opportunity. Oh! What is that? It was fast, but knockout is there, and Dayton has claimed the first round of our knockout challenge. We'll see them again later to compete in the finals. Round of applause for Arizona, too. Coming out to give this giant racket challenge a go. Women's singles is up next. We'll get the warm-up going.
How we doing? Good. A little crazy. I think we got our groove. Okay? Yeah. I'm ready. I'm awake. Yep.
2 minutes.
And they're just doing a wide shot right now, just to fill it. 2 minutes. That's what you said, was 2 minutes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, 2 minutes.
One minute. Ladies and gentlemen, this women's singles set will be played to the right of the chair, playing for Ohio State, Adrian Young, and to the And to the right of the chair, playing for University of North Carolina, Alexandra Lee.
Yeah, this is, yeah, and you got 10, yeah, for sure. Right through here, right through that door. Either left or right here, okay?
Time. North Carolina to serve.
And we're back here. Women's singles just getting underway between Xandra Lee of North Carolina, Adrian Young of Ohio State. As these two play their first point, it's Ohio State, which won 6-0 in the doubles. They've got the commanding lead, but first point here to North Carolina. Tar Heels fans hoping for brighter skies ahead. Andy Dunscombe is with some of the Tar Heels. So the first game to North Carolina here. So they're finally on the board. Zandra Lee taking care of business against Adrienne Young. Now she's trying to break Young's serve, and she's off to a good start, winning the first 2 points on Young's service game. So Cece, it seems like for Zandra Lee, the key with taking Young's ball has just been patient, waiting for it. There's a little more arc under it.
Yeah, she seems very consistent. Doesn't look like she's gonna miss many balls here.
So for as hot as Ohio State started, it was trouble for North Carolina, but now the Tar Heels about to roll off 2 games of their own. That's why the cumulative scoring is so important.
So important. Definitely the biggest part of this format, I think.
Lee has a lot of time to move and get herself set up and really in a good position, and she has done just that throughout this match, winning the first 2 games of this set.
Yeah, I think those first 2 games were pretty important. She's been very consistent. I don't think she's missed at all so far.
Zandra Lee, one of the captains, one of the seniors for North Carolina. She's already got a job lined up after graduation in Seattle. And you jinxed her, Cece, because there's the first miss.
15.
Lee covering a lot of ground. She's making Young try to do the same, but right now Zandra Lee's got all the answers.
She's playing very smart, hitting her spots really well right now.
Something else that works in Carolina's favor, they have a very strong mixed doubles team. It's been really kind of pushing them over the top throughout this tournament. Knowing you've got that in your back pocket, it really gives you a lot of positive feelings going forward.
For sure, I think that gives you so much confidence, just knowing that your closing team is going to be very strong.
Zandra Lee's got plenty of confidence right now as she's on the verge of going up 3-0 in this women's singles set.
She's using that slice out wide serve so well. Really cutting the ball. Looks like they're subbing someone in here.
Ohio State will call for a substitute. And as Ohio State tries to regroup, let's head over to Andy Dunscombe. He's with some Carolina fans.
I'm live now in Tar Heel Nation with Sangeeta. Sangeeta, how's the match going? Down early, now we're going.
The match is going well. We know that you have to play until the final game is over, and the girls and the boys have fought hard over the last few days. Zandra is a great example. She's a great competitor, very smart. She knows the point's not over until it's truly over. So we're very proud of these young people, and they've had a couple of tough matches where they've had to come from behind, so they know that it's a long night.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sangeeta. Enjoy the rest of the match. Throwing it back to Cece and Brian.
Lily O'Toole now in for the Buckeyes, trying to slow down some of Zandra Lee's momentum, but so far no success after Lee took the first point on O'Toole's first serve after she came on to replace Adrian Young.
I don't think she had hit a winner yet until that last point, but she seems to be using her consistency and aggression now too.
Now remember, you can substitute as much as you want, so theoretically Ohio State could put in somebody else after this service game, or after this point even, but the only thing is that counts towards your 2-set allowance per match. And you talk about the aggression, Lee's way inside the baseline. Now on the second serve, she'll probably come in even more. She's almost at the service line.
Must be a lot of pressure.
Tried to turn up the heat, which you can do when you're up 30-love 3-0, but she was just a little bit wide.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a smart play from her. Missed it by just a little bit there.
Women's doubles are next. Sandra Lee and North Carolina win the longest point of this national championship. And you saw the patience, then finally you saw Lee say, let's end this one way or the other. She really blasted it. Good job by O'Toole just to get it back. It's quite the replay, but let's see how it ended. There's the big forehand. And then put it away. Carolina on the verge of going up 4-0. Carolina continues to roll up 4-0 for Zandra Lee here in this women's singles set. So Ohio State makes the substitution, but Lily O'Toole unable to do anything to slow down Zandra Lee. And right now we've got this one getting even closer after Ohio State rolled through the men's double 6-0. North Carolina, CC, looks like they might be rolling through the singles 6-0.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a really interesting end of the set. You know, knowing that Ohio State did win the first one, but UNC is definitely coming back really strong in the second one.
And it looks like, from what we've seen so far, Zandra Lee here as the senior, you're seeing her experience. She can play the patient point, she can play the power point, she can play against one player, she can play against a substitute. She's handling everything very well right now.
Right, her style really seems to be handling every type of ball really well, and I think it's going to keep going for her at this rate for sure.
In a match like this, though, how do you stay level where one team wins 6-0, then the other team's up 4-0? How do you keep it level and you don't go too crazy?
I think you just got to stick to your game and, see what your team's thinking. But, I think, UNC's got to keep a great, run with this singles and see what happens in the next match. The next one will definitely be interesting for sure, the women's doubles.
Next match is the women's doubles. Now, traditionally, neither of these two players play in that. But we could get our first look, especially for Carolina, at Ellie Johnson, who's also been key to their very strong mixed doubles team. But taking things one set at a time right now in this national championship, cumulative scoring. And that's good news for North Carolina. After losing the men's doubles 6-0, they're up 4-0 here in the women's singles. So cumulative, it's Ohio State up 6-4 for the match. Whoever's got the most points at the end is your national champion. Blistering forehand from Zandra Lee, one of the best shots of the night.
Ellen had a lot of extra pace on that.
Very compact setup. What a job to stay alive by Lily O'Toole and win the point, a point that it didn't look like she was going to stay in much longer. I was going to ask you, how do you take over one of those moonball rallies? And I wouldn't say Lily O'Toole took it over, but she picked her spot and capitalized.
Yeah, definitely. She really ended that point really well. I think she, waited it out until she got the right shot before she really tried to do some damage.
Still Zandra Lee doing plenty of damage in this women's singles set. Another forehand winner, the third of the night for Zandra Lee, who started this match against Adrienne Young, and then Ohio State substituted Lily O'Toole. How does that, is there an adjustment period when you're all of a sudden playing against one player then playing against somebody else?
Oh, for sure, I would say so. I think, she's handled it, Zandra's handled it so well, and I think, she's kind of used the same type of game plan against both players, and it's been working awesome for her.
Made a trip into net, Zandra Lee. Tried to take it out of the air, didn't work out. And Lily O'Toole seems to have she's still not on the board, but she's slowed things down a bit. It's like she's given Ohio State a little bit of breathing room since she came on as a sub.
Definitely.
And now a chance for Lily O'Toole and Ohio State here, a break point to get on the board in women's singles. Just missed long will play a deciding point. As Andrea Lee not letting anything go.
It'll be interesting to see what happens on this deciding point since it's such a, big point for both schools, I would say.
And Lily O'Toole, as the receiver, gets to pick which side they'll play. She chooses the deuce court. Deciding point here. Ohio State trying to get on the board. Lily O'Toole puts the Buckeyes on the board. As Andrea Lee looks to the chair just to confirm it was out. It was. Okay, so North Carolina now, okay, so you might think if you're watching at home, what's the difference? 4-0, 4-1. Carolina is still going to win the set as we watch the replay, but where every game matters in this format, it could be huge when we add it all up at the end, as that ball just missed out wide from Lee.
The wind might have carried that one a little bit. Definitely tougher on Zandra's side, I would say.
Here's Lily O'Toole, who's put the Buckeyes on the board since she came on as a sub for Adrian Young. Trying to keep rolling after that break. As the tennis saying goes, it's not a break until you hold serve.
Exactly.
Lily O'Toole, only a freshman from Cincinnati, Ohio. Every player in this Ohio State team is from the Buckeye State.
Some good variation there.
We just heard somebody in the stands say, don't give her the same look. It's that kind of variation, the change in style. Zandra Lee's got herself another chance here, which would give her the opportunity to serve for this set. Double break point for Zandra Lee in North Carolina to go up 5-1. Once again, the patience from Zandra Lee playing off, and maybe O'Toole getting a little bit jumpy. Carolina up 5-1. The other number to keep in mind, that cumulative score. And after Ohio State won the men's doubles 6-0, and now Zandra Lee's up 5-1, that makes the cumulative score, the one that matters, 7-5 Ohio State. So that one game, O'Toole, even if that's all she wins, you could almost say she did her job.
Exactly. That's a very big part of the match. I think that would be awesome.
Zandra Lee trying to make sure one is all she gets. Just missed out wide. So Zandra Lee, we talk about the unique experience of playing in the Tennis on Campus program, coming here to the National Championship. How about this for a unique experience? She studied abroad in Hong Kong and played varsity tennis for the college where she studied abroad.
Very cool story. I think that'd be an awesome experience going over there. She seemed to have a great time and do well over there in the tennis aspect also.
As we said, she's already got a job lined up post-graduation. Right now, she's trying to close out this set, but the double faults maybe tightening up a bit here. Still up 5-1. So that's her first double fault of this match. A match she started against Adrienne Young. Now facing the sub, Lily O'Toole. Down 5-1, maybe you're swinging a little more freely.
I think so. It sure seems like it. I think she's really trying to get as many games as she can here to help the overall score on her team.
She's 2 points away from grabbing another game. Lee went for it there, but now finds herself down 2 break points. Took a big cut with the forehand. But here's another chance for Lily O'Toole and Ohio State.
All these points seem to be going so long. It's interesting to see how each of them finish off.
Women's doubles are up next here in this national championship. one break point saved. What a job by O'Toole. A long arcing shot, found the baseline, kept the point alive. And she's found another game here in this women's singles set to put Ohio State up 8-5. North Carolina in familiar position in the final. They lost to Auburn 2 years ago, and Andy Dunscombe's with the hero of that Auburn team.
I'm here with Mitchell Vegas, hero of the Auburn Tigers team from 2 years ago that won the Tennis on Campus championships. I'm so nervous because I'm by a hero. War Eagle, right?
War Eagle.
You guys won 2 years ago.
Yes.
You were back playing this year. How does it feel to play again at Tennis on Campus?
Oh, it's amazing. You know, it's always fun coming back to this event and playing in different cities every year. This is the second tournament in Orlando, and we're having a really good time tonight.
Were you here last year as well?
Yes, we were here last year. You know, it's a beautiful facility. This is the second time we've been to this facility, and we love it. It's awesome.
So what has been your most memorable experience in all your years of Tennis on Campus?
Well, it has to be winning the national championship, right?
Of course, of course.
Of course.
All right, thank you so much, Mitchell, for being with us, and throw it back to Brian and Cece.
Thank you. Thanks.
Sun setting here in Orlando. I'm Brian Clark alongside Cece Bellis and Andy Dunscombe. It's the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship. Ohio State and North Carolina here in the women's singles, the second of 5 sets tonight. Lily O'Toole for Ohio State. She came on as a sub. She's done a good job of getting the Buckeyes back into this one against Zandra Lee of North Carolina. There's the persistence of Zandra Lee paying off. So you see 5-2 on your screen, and that sounds like a blowout, but it's more than that because, as we said before, we play cumulative scoring. Those are the numbers that get added up at the end of the night. The total game scores, who's ever won more games is the winner. And right now, after a 6-0 rout in the men's doubles, it's Ohio State up 8-5. Lee was out of position as O'Toole had her fooled.
O'Toole really seems to be hitting her spots now as she's gotten into this.
Put it right back to the same spot. That's like almost a pro tactic.
Exactly, went right behind her. We call that an ankle breaker.
Doesn't sound nice.
Doesn't feel good either.
Is it the ego that hurts or the ankles?
Both.
North Carolina 2 points away at 30 all. No ad scoring here, so if they split the next 2 points, will play a deciding point. Carolina 1 point away from winning this set and drawing to within 2 points of Ohio State. Look at the balance and the mobility you see from Zandra Lee there. Able to just float her way through that point.
Awesome footwork, and she seems to be defending really well off of O'Toole's pace.
She'll get a look at a second serve. What an effort from both players, but it's Lily O'Toole out-slugging Zandra Lee.
Wow, that was by far the best point of the match. She really used her offense well there, and Zandra played a great point too.
There were a couple of balls where it looked like it was the other player's chance. But right there, it was finally Lily O'Toole who's forced a deciding point. She's got to come back and win this, though, because it's a set point for Zandra Lee in North Carolina, up 5-2. Both players spent some time with a towel, taking some time after a point like that, easily 30 balls.
Oh, yeah. Definitely tired after that type of a point. A lot of movement in there as well.
Lily O'Toole didn't realize it was her serve on this deciding point. Lily O'Toole, she thought she was supposed to hit the ball over to Zandra Lee, and now they have a good laugh about it at the net. I must say, Cece, you're a pro, so you're playing in courts where it's proper. I find it easy to forget. Okay, wait, who serves? What side? Where are we?
Oh, for sure, especially in tie breaks or, after long points, definitely. Forget everything when you're tired.
And this is something Lily O'Toole needs right here. And O'Toole's got another game for the Buckeyes. Ohio State up by 4. It's still Zandra Lee and Carolina winning here in this women's singles match, but this feels very different than it did just about 10 minutes ago.
Oh, for sure. I think it's so much closer now, and the atmosphere feels a lot, tighter, and the teams are getting more into it. I think it's, turning into an awesome match.
Something else to keep in mind, I know it's just one set, but you've got a fresher player in O'Toole because she came on as a sub in, I think, the third game, where you've had Zandra Lee out there for probably 40 minutes at this point.
Exactly. Definitely played more tennis.
Now the teams huddle up during the changeover. Overall, it's Ohio State up 9-5 on North Carolina after the Buckeyes won the men's doubles 6-0, and it's the cumulative scoring that matters, and we thought we were going to see a similar whitewash here in the women's singles, thanks to Zandra Lee, but Lily O'Toole's gotten the Buckeyes right back on track, so it's 5-3 Carolina here in the women's singles, but overall, it's Ohio State in front 9-5. We've got the women's doubles to follow, then the men's singles, then the mixed doubles. Could even have a super tiebreaker depending on how things are going. But right now it almost feels like the momentum is swinging back towards Ohio State.
Yeah, agreed. I think, even if Lily O'Toole doesn't win this set, Ohio State's going to be up by a couple games at least by now. So I think that's a big advantage for Ohio State for sure.
They were down 4-0, and they've won 3 of the last 4 games.
Right.
So it's really almost a bonus at this point. See the Ohio State team talking some strategy. That's something else that's cool here with tennis on campus is the coaches are each other. You're talking to yourself. North Carolina's kind of got 2 designated players that also work as coaches. Connor Cook, who we'll see later, he helps things out with the Tar Heels. The Buckeyes share the duties, but it's cool where you've got that kind of reassuring thing. You're accountable to each other. It's not like the coach that you're paying or is your mom or dad. It's a different situation. You're your peers.
Exactly. I think it makes it more fun for sure.
And here is Zandra Lee trying to close out the very pesky Lily O'Toole.
Would be interesting to see what the score is if Lily O'Toole was in from the beginning of this match.
It's a big time forehand from Lily O'Toole to set that up. We see O'Toole put a lot of air under some of her balls, but when she has a ball that she likes, she attacks.
She really does. Her offense has been working so well for her tonight. It just seems to be getting better each game as she gets more confident with it.
Zandra there drawing O'Toole in and putting it right past her.
Definitely seems to be using a different tactic here, and it worked well for her for sure.
So once again, Lee 2 points away from closing this set out. Not before Lily O'Toole gave Ohio State at least 3 games. One point away for Zandra Lee and the Tar Heels. Carolina's got the set. Zandra Lee gets it done, but not after an impressive fight back from Lily O'Toole, the Ohio State sub, And let's circle those couple of games that O'Toole got, the 3 of them after she was down 4-love, but plenty of time for Carolina to celebrate because after dropping the men's doubles 6-0, they win the women's singles 6-3. Overall, it's Ohio State 9-6, and let's take another look at set point. Ultimately, the senior lead was just too much for the freshman.
Yeah, I think those 3 games that Lily O'Toole got were so important for Ohio State, and I think her team's going to be very happy about that to, make their lead even bigger.
So 6-3 for Zandra Lee of North Carolina against the combination of Adrian Young and the sub Lily O'Toole. It was O'Toole who won the 3 games after Carolina was up 4-love. So overall, it's Ohio State 9, North Carolina 6, but lots of fun going on court here at the USTA National Campus.
Takes the first bounce. Oh, he's closing in. Oh, look at that. The Tigers of Auburn will move on to the championship later tonight. And coming up next right here, it's women's doubles. We're going to get that warm-up started. The prize patrol is here too. We've got blankets and mugs and everything. So make some noise for some more free gear from the USTA. As an award winner, Gary, I'm real impressed with that. I'm good. I really thought you were bringing the skills from that award to toss those blankets. How did you feel about it? Did you get a good toss? Which field? Out here? Or the court? Well, I mean, you could have been there. Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. I just want to first thank you. Okay, I'll do that. Perfect. Right.
Our next set will be women's doubles. To the left of the chair, playing for North Carolina, Claire Littleton. Our next match will be women's doubles.
I thought they were ready.
For North Carolina.
Hey, Ray, we can have some more.
To the left.
Just a second.
Playing
I thought they were ready to go, and all of a sudden they
Kate
actually
Lieberman, Claire Lieberman, and Ellie Johnson.
And you can have music now.
To the right of the chair, playing for Ohio State, Paige Carmichael and Natasha Beers. Ohio State will serve first.
Championship is next. I'm having fun commentating it. It actually has been, it's been fun. You may. Take it off? Yeah. Okay. It's on the old belt. I mean, I got it on there nice and strong. Okay, that's fine. That's okay.
A lovely Florida night here on the USTA National Campus in Orlando. I'm Brian Clark back with CC Bellis. We're here for the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship. And CC, through 2 sets of this best-of-5 match, we've got a good one so far. Ohio State won all 6 games in the men's doubles. North Carolina won the women's singles, but 3 key games for Ohio State just to get on the board there. It's 9-6 overall in favor of Ohio State.
Yeah, we've had some unbelievable tennis so far. It's going to be interesting to see what this women's doubles turns out like with the scoreboard of how the men's doubles turned out in the beginning. So I'm excited to see that. I think we're going to see some good tennis here too.
We've got women's doubles warming up right now on court, followed by the men's singles, the mixed doubles, and then if we're all tied up, a super tiebreak to determine this national championship. North Carolina's won 2 national championships the first 2 years of this tournament in 2000 and 2001. They were runners-up 2 years ago. Ohio State, this is all new for them. They've never been in a national championship here. They won the Fall Invitational just a couple of months ago. That was how they punched their tickets here to Lake Nona. But different territory for a very young Buckeyes team. And so far, they've handled themselves pretty well.
Definitely.
As we take a look at the players warming up for Ohio State, it's Natasha Beers and Paige Carmichael. It's Natasha in the shorts, Paige Carmichael wearing the pants on this. It's a little bit cooler as the sun goes down night here in Florida, but still warm temperatures. And then for North Carolina, we get our first look at Ellie Johnson, the freshman, who's also a big part usually of that very good mixed doubles team. She's in the white on the left side of your screen, warming up alongside senior Claire Lieberman. This is the North Carolina women's doubles teams. And then for these two teams, the way things are looking right now, how does the carryover effect matter? Where, okay, if you're North Carolina, we had a tough go of things in the men's doubles, but then we had a gritty win in the women's singles. We've got a good mixed doubles team coming up. So is it just point by point?
Yeah, I think so, and I think definitely point by point and game by game. So I think that'll be huge for them, just, taking it one at a time and just trying to, win as many as they can for sure.
Right now, Ohio State's won 9 games, North Carolina's won 6, and that's the number that matters. The cumulative scoring, it's all part of the atmosphere that we like here at Tennis on Campus, just the fun side of things, when how it's, these are not your Division I student athletes. These are college kids balancing class and extracurricular activities, looking for jobs. A lot of these Carolina players we spoke to before the match, they already have jobs lined up for next year, which is impressive in its own right. Ohio State, they don't have to worry about that so much yet. They're young team, so we could see them again here next year and in years to come. But you're juggling all that, so okay, you don't want your tennis to go out
and be cutthroat. You want to compete, you want to win, but you want to have fun, and we've seen all of that on display here.
Definitely. I think that's been, the most fun part for us to see is just to see how much they're enjoying it and how, all the teams react and act around each other. So it's been awesome.
And you see that right now on the benches of each team, just the atmosphere it is. There's coaching, you hear the encouragement between points. The only time you can't coach is during a point. You can't tell your player, let it go, it's long. Also allowed to substitute, and that's what we saw during the women's singles. Lily O'Toole came on for Ohio State and did a very good job. She got 3 games, but ultimately it was North Carolina's Zandra Lee winning that set. And now we're underway in the women's doubles. It's Natasha Beers opening things up. One difference here, as we just saw in that last serve. Not like World Team Tennis in the sense that they don't play lets. Claire Lieberman showing off her hands early on. Natasha Beers, a junior from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. How hard is it to play lets? You see that in some events, World Team Tennis.
Yeah, and it's tough when you're, having a format that does play and then, playing another match the next day that doesn't play it. So it's definitely hard going back and forth, but I think once you get used to it, it might take a while, but then you're fine. It's definitely difficult though.
Right now, North Carolina having some early success. Lieberman at net has been dangerous early on, and now 2 break points here for Carolina.
This is an awesome poach here. She seems to be moving up at the net really well and taking her partner's ground strokes and really moving with it.
Now a deciding point here. What a serve by Beers at a pressure moment. She went out wide. Lieberman had to chase it down, and Ohio State pulls out that opening game.
Yeah, great stuff earlier on from both teams. Already a very high quality set so far.
Now we'll see Carolina serve for the first time in this women's doubles match as that hold puts Ohio State up 10-6 on the overall scoreboard.
It's amazing how much the first set is helping Ohio State.
Double fault from Ellie Johnson, who is a strong player, a little too strong with those 2 serves, so this is maybe the moment here, speaking to the freshman.
Exactly.
That moment didn't look too big for her as she put that away with style.
Yeah, I think when she finds her rhythm, she's going to be a really strong player. Use that inside out forehand so well there.
Lieberman didn't touch that, which was fortunate because the ball ended up missing. But with this North Carolina pair, you really have everything you want in a doubles team, where you've got the power of Ellie Johnson and then Lieberman just so good at the net.
Right, and I was going to say I think Ellie's serve is going to really come on here as well, and then obviously her partner would be, you know, easily able to poach at the net if the return gets it back.
It's a good-looking serve.
Really smooth motion.
Second double fault from Ellie Johnson. Deciding point. So again, second game in a row where it looked like Carolina was running away with the game, except this time on their serve. Now we find ourselves at a deciding point.
Right, and these deciding points are so crucial. You know, it could really flip the score around at any moment of the match.
Missed out wide. Natasha Beers doing it all from the baseline. And Ohio State has grabbed the first two games of the women's doubles set and now gone up by 5 points overall, 11-6. The Buckeyes lead.
Imagine they have a lot of confidence going into this game, knowing they're up by a lot already.
And Cece, this is also, as we watch Paige Carmichael serve, something you talked about, say after this first serve from Carmichael. Beers a little greedy at the net, it couldn't go, but the pressure of that deciding point where, okay, if North Carolina wins those 2 points, it's completely different.
Yeah, right, they could have easily been up 2-0 if they had won those 2 points, so it can really turn a match around.
Double fault once again, a break chance for Carolina. This time it's 3 of them. And Carolina's got the break. Tar Heels on the board here in the women's doubles. As we'll see Claire Lieberman serve for the first time.
It'll be interesting to see how this pairing works out with her serving, even though she's awesome at the net, so we'll see how her groundies are here.
And we'll also see what Ellie Johnson can do when she's up at the net. Double fault for Lieberman as that second serve missed long. 11-7 the overall score in favor of Ohio State. It's the most games won over the 5 sets that will crown the national champion. Lieberman was just thrown off by the spin that was on that ball coming back.
Because seemed to maybe taking a funny bounce there.
The way it came off of Beers' strings in a bit of an odd way, where it almost made like a popping noise, not like the real clean strike.
Right, she may have shanked it a little bit.
Well, we were wondering what Johnson could do with the net. There's your answer.
Very solid at the net, too. Also must be difficult now that a couple of the players have hit some double faults. Must be difficult with the lights coming on and the toss going up into the lights now that it's dark outside.
In the case of Ohio State, you talk about club tennis, and it's not like varsity tennis. Ohio State practices from 10 p.m. to midnight, so night tennis might be right up their alley.
Exactly, this would definitely benefit them.
I think it's a little warmer here in Orlando than it is in Columbus.
Probably.
And Ohio State breaks. Buckeyes go up 3-1 and 12-7 on the overall scoreboard, the one that matters.
It's awesome how the Ohio State team is really gelling as a pair and using both of their strengths to the best of their ability.
So just to recap how we got to this point, the men's doubles, it was all Ohio State. Noah Stern, Gavin Aten did not drop a game against Nelson Hughes and Seth Panoski. So it was 6-0 Ohio State, just like that. Then the women's singles, and it was Zandra Lee for North Carolina against Adrian Young. And Lee jumped out to a quick lead, but then the Buckeyes made a change, and they brought in Lily O'Toole, the freshman for Young. And while Lee still won the set, Lily O'Toole took 3 games, so that is important on the overall scoreboard. Otherwise, it would be a lot different. And now here in the women's doubles, it's Ohio State up 3-1 over North Carolina and the 12-7 overall lead with the men's singles and mixed doubles to follow. And our friend Andy joins us from Buckeye Nation, where, Andy, they've got to be pretty pleased.
Back in Buckeye Nation, got a couple dads here, a couple Ohio State Buckeye fans. Who do I got?
Joe Stern.
And who do I got here?
Greg Ayton.
Greg Ayton. Guys, this is an intense match, going back and forth. How do you feel your players are doing out there right now?
They're doing fine. It'll probably come down to mixed doubles, as it always does. We're doing well.
Awesome. How you been feeling? Where we going? We got River behind us, giving us some good vibes.
Yeah, I love Lily O'Toole. She came in and got us 3 big games. I thought that was huge, and the doubles are off to a great start, so looking good so far.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys both so much. Nope. Wait. We're not leaving yet. We're still live. We're staying here. I'm not listening to anyone. I got a couple more questions. What do we need to do to finish this out?
Well, I just think our doubles teams just have to be steady. I mean, they're putting a lot of balls in play, and they're letting the other team make the mistakes, and that's how you win in doubles. So a lot of good first balls in the court off our serves and just making them make shots.
We got another one coming up here. A little long on that one. Who we got coming up after this? Who's got coming up after this?
Now we have my son Gavin Ayton playing here next in the singles, and he is yet to lose his set this weekend, so I'm hoping that will be a big positive for us.
Awesome. Well, I wish you the guys the best of luck. We're going to toss it right back to Brian and Cece. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
First point here went to North Carolina on Natasha Beers' serve. First 2 points go to North Carolina after a Beers double fault. And Cece, we talked about the lights now coming on and that having an impact. Beers has a very high toss. And so the higher the toss, the more it can be affected by wind, by lights, by the sun if we're playing during the day. So, like you said, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously higher tosses have to be, timed more perfectly. So we'll see if the lights or, like you said, the wind have any effect on that.
She also, as we watch the Beer serve, not sure what she'll do here in the ad court, but she's way towards the sideline, not closer to the center of the courts. Is that just giving herself a little bit more room to work with?
Yeah, maybe a little bit more angle for her slice serve on the deuce side. Seems to be pretty far over on the ad side as well. But definitely probably a little more angle, probably better aim for her. Maybe with her toss, it's easier to hit it.
30 all, and as we perhaps approach another deciding point, just a reminder of how these deciding points have an impact on things. Second serve coming. First 2 games here were decided by deciding points, so this could easily be a completely different scoreline. But Ohio State won both of those deciding points. Second serve, ace.
Awesome serve there at an unbelievable time. At 30 all, that's definitely an unbelievable point to hit a serve like that.
National championship, 30 all. Why not? Go for it on second
Why not?
serve. Pierce had to wait for the OHIO chance from some of the many Buckeye fans here. Working quickly, though.
Another deciding point, like you said. Ellie Johnson taking it.
Johnson missed that out wide. And that's game Ohio State, and a 4-1 lead and a 13-7 lead overall. And that's now 3 for 3 on deciding points for the Buckeyes in this women's doubles set.
They're definitely performing under pressure. That was a great first serve in, and awesome start for them in the set.
So here the fans get into it. This is the fun we were talking about.
They seem to really be enjoying it. It's really fun to watch.
We see some Stanford players there on our screen. A lot of players from the other teams throughout the tournament sticking around.
Definitely see some Stanford, some TCU.
"64 teams traveled down here this weekend. The paths they all took, very interesting. A lot of them won their sections or did well enough in their sectional tournaments to get here. We talked about Ohio State. They won the Fall Invitational. That clinched their spot. Ellie Johnson unloading on that serve.
She's got a really smooth serve there. If it goes in as a first serve, it's pretty tough to return.
And that's the perfect combination Carolina wants. The big first serve and then the sure-handed Claire Lieberman at net to put it away if the Buckeyes can get it back.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's going to be their best play tonight.
There's Beers with the power of her own. Ohio State, their strategy in this match, or the formula that's worked in this set, has just been hang around, force those deciding points. They haven't lost the deciding point.
It's a great get by Beers at the net. Really good reflexes there.
And a great chance for Ohio State. There is the get. Might have surprised Lieberman coming back. Ohio State has another break. It's the Buckeyes going up. Excuse me. I think I spoke too soon. I think it's a deciding
I
point.
think you're right, yeah. Scoreboard might have been wrong there for a minute.
Deciding
Deciding point.
which has been good news for the Buckeyes. They're 3 for 3 here in the women's doubles.
Still 4-1.
Ellie Johnson trying to change that. And she does, using the big first serve. Beers thought that serve might have been a little long. It wasn't. And that's big for North Carolina, now 4-2. And 13-8 overall in favor of Ohio State. And finally, North Carolina can take a deep breath. They've won a deciding point. Paige Carmichael serving now for the Buckeyes.
Awesome aggression there.
Beers doing her job at the net. And that second serve missed long.
I think the wind has been a big factor in this match, especially tonight. Seems to have picked up a bit the last few minutes.
We can see the flag really swirling around. 2 break points here for Carolina. A little bit long from Lieberman.
A couple shots in a row right on the baseline in that point.
Not playing with a whole lot of margin. Now second serve still down a break point. Carolina's got another break. Ellie Johnson with the strong return brings the Tar Heels closer. That's 2 games in a row for the Lieberman-Johnson pair.
They seem to be picking up a bit of momentum here.
Now the overall score, Ohio State 13, North Carolina 9. As Tar Heel fans anxiously hoping for more of the same as Claire Lieberman serves. But Beers too good at net.
Her hands here have just been so awesome in this match, placing it so well.
Hands of her own from Ellie Johnson. One of the better shots we've seen all night.
Great hands there, awesome angle.
It's textbook.
That was perfect.
It's Claire Lieberman's turn. She's her teammate doing the same. It's like a net play clinic right now on this court.
Exactly. They've really found their rhythm. Volley's all over the court here.
A volley there, just a lot of power.
Exactly. Placed well at her feet, though. This is a very important point here.
It's Beers holding her own at the net.
She has had some really good reflexes in this set so far. Awesome hands by her.
And a break chance for Ohio State. That serve misses wide. Ohio State has another break. The Buckeyes 1 game away from winning this women's double set. They lead the set 5-3, and more importantly, they lead 14-9 in the overall score. So, of course, that's what matters overall. The overall score, it's Ohio State 14, North Carolina 9. And we've got men's singles and mixed doubles to come as they change ends. Gorgeous night here at the USTA National Campus. I'm Brian Clark alongside CC Bellis here for this USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship between North Carolina and Ohio State. And the word we keep saying, CC, is fun. You see the Carolina players bobbing their heads and dancing a bit. That's sort of how they stay loose. There's just a lot of fun here. This kind of atmosphere.
Oh, one of the little ball kids.
I think they're having the most fun out of everybody.
I agree. She seems to be pulling out some new moves here.
Person's dressed as a tennis ball. A lot of fun in the air. I think it'd be a little bit more fun, though, if you could win this national championship. That's what these two teams are trying to do, something Ohio State's never done. Natasha Beers serving. The Buckeyes in front 14-9. The other thing that's unique to tennis on campus, you don't see it often in D1 tennis, pro tennis. Players, after a double fault, they're usually smiling because it usually is, ooh, I just missed that one. It's like you're playing tennis in your park.
Exactly. I think that's the best part of it, of how they're really enjoying it out here.
Tough shot to hit going backwards like that.
Exactly, especially with these lights.
Beers trying to restore order.
Another big point here. Ohio State wanting to close this out.
Buckeyes a point away from doing just that. This deciding point's important because if you're Carolina, let's look at the score here. It's 14-9 overall, Ohio State. You don't want to go down 15-9. That's 6 points. So you basically, theoretically, you're gonna have to win a set 6-0, which is not easy.
No, especially in this type of a match where it's so close already.
But that's exactly what the Tar Heels may have to do as Ohio State wins yet another deciding point to close out the women's doubles. Happy high fives between Natasha Beers and Paige Carmichael as they take down Ellie Johnson and Claire Lieberman 6-3, and more importantly, put their Buckeyes up 15-9 overall. So with 2 sets to go, Ohio State seemingly, and we say seemingly because North Carolina was trailing in their semifinal, came back to beat Stanford. Ohio State seemingly well positioned here.
Definitely. I think UNC is really counting on their final mixed doubles team to win them the match tonight.
And Ellie Johnson, who we just saw for North Carolina, she's usually part of that mixed doubles team. So alongside Holloman Hughes, who we have not seen, and I don't think we will see unless he comes on as a sub. We believe we'll see Connor Cook against Gavin Aten in the men's singles. We saw Aten as part of that 6-0 blitz in the Ohio State doubles romp to get things going. Some of the awards being announced on court. The Colorado School of Mines, I think, has won the Sportsmanship Award here at the Tennis on Campus National Championships.
Connecting with USTA and Tennis on Campus this year and this week on social media. Some special recognitions, and we will have some prize packs for you, so come on down. For best Twitter update, that goes to Cal Berkeley Club Tennis. Congratulations to Cal. Your best Instagram collaboration is Washington University in St. Louis. Alongside the USTA Missouri Valley, so congrats to WashU. And we've tallied up all the likes and views from your mini posts. In second place for our Instant MVP Award with 1,055 likes, the University of Oregon. But your winner this year of the first ever Instant MVP Award with 1,400 likes and views is Rutgers.
I'm live courtside with Arthur, who is the coach of last year's Michigan team. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Last year, you guys took home the championship. You're back this year. How are you feeling about the match right now?
Excellent. It's excellent play, and it's been high energy from the crowds. There's definitely camps, and people are very passionate for their teams, and it's really exciting. I mean, the energy on this stage is really unique in that the crowds definitely cheer, and they cheer really hard, and it's really cool as a non-professional player to get that.
Arthur, I'm going to ask you a question that I know the answer to. It's the national championship. Yeah. But besides that, what has been your most memorable experience from being involved in Tennis on Campus?
Tennis on Campus, I mean, just kind of my team and the events and traveling to kind of local tournaments was always really fantastic as a player. Honestly, the most memorable thing is the people that I played with and the team. And so kind of just time with friends and building great friendships that have lasted that brought me back here has been excellent.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Arthur, for spending some time with us. Much appreciate it. Now back to you guys.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. Thanks for calling me down.
Okay. This is going to work. Yep. I'm good. I'm back now. We've had a lot of great players, a lot of great talent on the court tonight, but none better than my friend here, Sabrina. Sabrina, how you feeling out there?
I
I feel really excited, and I feel like I have like kind of a lot of power because everyone was like screaming and I was just like dancing. I was like, oh my goodness.
So Sabrina, I gotta see, what's that dance move? Can you do that for us?
Yeah.
Give Sabrina some space. Let's see it. Come on. You ready? Sabrina, what is that called? You gotta tell me what's that called.
I think it's called the shoot. The shoot.
The shoot?
Yeah.
Do you want to see if I can try it real quick?
Yeah, try.
No, we're not gonna try that. We're not gonna try it. Sabrina, thank you so much. You have anything to say to the people at home?
Maybe you guys should try it at home, and maybe it'll help you get a bit famous, I guess. Because I mean, look at me here. I'm speaking into a microphone. And I just did a few dance moves, and look at me, right here in the middle of tennis court. Everyone's watching.
All right, thank you so much. And coming up, some more action live from the USTA National Campus.
Second serve.
Men's singles off to a flying start between Connor Cook of North Carolina and Gavin Ayton of Ohio State. I'm Brian Clark, back with CC Bellis here on the USTA National Campus. It's the Tennis on Campus National Championship. And CC, it's Ohio State in control right now, up overall 15-9 after they just took the women's doubles. But Connor Cook, one of the captains of this North Carolina team, is a senior trying to drag his heels back into it. Couldn't quite cover that lob. A lot of ground to cover.
Really good first 2 points here. UNC would have to win 6-0 for it to even the scoreboard.
But even if the Tar Heels are down going into the next set, the fifth set, that's the mixed doubles, they were down 7 games going into mixed this morning against Stanford in the semifinals, and they won. Ohio State beat UC San Diego to get to their first ever Tennis on Campus National Championship. See what Connor Cook likes to do. He likes to hit that forehand as hard as he can. Gavin Ayton right now trying to figure out how to counter it. But things have been working for Ayton. So Cook's got to get this second serve in. Emphatic start for Gavin Ayton and Ohio State as Connor Cook gives up the service game. Gavin Ayton able to break, and now Ayton will serve as soon as he can find some tennis balls. Some of the ball kids helping him out, but CC, aside from that, everything going smooth as can be. As I say that, I mess up for Ohio State right now. It's just the Buckeyes, everything you could want going into this match, they've been able to do.
Definitely. I think, with the lead they have, I think Ohio State's definitely got some confidence going into this match and can definitely play a lot more free than UNC probably can play right now.
And with a shot like that kind of backhand going for it from Ayton and just missing. But that's the kind of freedom you talked about, and right now it's a 7-point lead for Ohio State. The Buckeyes up 16-9, and that's what matters, the overall score. So we've really just got these men's singles and then the mixed doubles after that coming up. But right now, North Carolina's got to figure this out quickly.
Definitely, and definitely as quick as they can to try and stop the bleeding so far.
As we get to see Gavin Ayton's first service game. Now for Ayton, he's a player who played in the men's doubles in the very first set tonight, and they rolled 6-0. This is the first time we've seen Cook on court. Is it an advantage to have already been on court?
I think so. I think it's definitely, probably an advantage. I don't know if either of the teams had played on this court yet this tournament, but definitely an advantage to be on here already, and I saw a couple of the UNC players warming up and just trying to stay as warm as they could before this match, I think.
A10 can only applaud as Cook's backhand volley whistled past him. And something else to keep in mind, though, yeah, A10's been on court already, but completely different conditions. That was about 2 hours ago. Sun was still out. It was much warmer. It wasn't as windy. So in many ways, this is like being on a new court.
Definitely. Playing in the lights also definitely harder. A bit of an adjustment.
It's Ohio State's first time ever in the final here. We said North Carolina lost in the final 2 years ago. The Tar Heels happy to be back in it, but they want to go a bit further. This is already probably the best week ever for Ohio State club tennis. It's Connor Cook closing the door at the net, and he's got a chance to break right back.
Awesome net game there. I think he's going to be moving in as much as he can this match from what we've seen so far.
So Ohio State, the women's doubles, have plenty of success on those deciding points. A10's trying to get to one as he follows that serve in. And we'll go to a deciding point. And A10 using the serve and volley to take a deciding point and put his Buckeyes up 2-0 and 17-9. It's now an 8-point Ohio State lead. Second point in a row with the serve and volley.
Yeah, it was great hands here. Just enough to get it far away from Cook.
So what's important to remember, as Ohio State's now up 8 as Connor Cook tries to just get Carolina a little bit closer. Even if your team is losing, if you win the mixed, you keep playing and you have a chance to tie it up until you lose a game. So, but that's not a situation you want to put yourself in. When we spoke to the North Carolina team earlier today, they said, hey, we were down 7 points going to mixed in the semifinals. They won, but they don't want to put their team in that situation again. And
right.
It seems like that might be where we're headed.
Yeah. But I guess their mixed doubles team is so strong, they definitely have belief in them to come back and win it for them.
Connor Cook did just about everything right in that point, beginning with the serve, but still the tenacity of A10 just to keep it going. Carolina fans love what they saw from Cook, but that's just how tough A10 is, how good he is on defense.
Definitely, he's been using his defense so well in this match, and Cook's been using his offense very well. Missed a few, but I think he's doing the right things, trying to get his rhythm here.
too much offense from Cook. What a forehand from A10 that somehow clipped the line.
A couple of balls on the line on that point. That was very well placed by A10 there.
You know, it's a good replay when the player who wins the point isn't even on the screen at the beginning of it.
Exactly.
What a shot from A10.
Perfect placement there.
And now A10 has 2 break points. And he just needs one of those break points. Ohio State up 3-0, and the Buckeyes now up 9 points as they inch closer to their first ever national title. Still a ways to go, but the way things are going right now for Ohio State, I think that Buckeye Nation's going to be on its feet in a couple of minutes. Gavin A10, between the doubles and the singles in this championship, has been on court now. This is his 10th game. Guess how many games he's lost? 0. After that 6-0 win in the doubles, now up 3-0 here in the singles. He teamed up with Noah Stern in the doubles. We think we'll see Noah in the mixed doubles.
Just hasn't missed at all this set. He's been so consistent and taking his chances when he needs to.
He's an actuarial science major. They're not really known for taking chances. But he has done just that. He's played the risk well. And he's working on yet another bagel. 10 games so far for A10. He's 10-0. Ohio State's up by 10. Andy Dunscombe's with a guest.
Everyone back on courtside. I've got Daniel Vivas here from the Notre Dame team, tennis on campus. Daniel, you have a program called Buddy Up that you guys do. Tell me a little bit about Buddy Up.
Oh yeah, this is an amazing program where we give free tennis lessons to kids with Down syndrome. We try to play with them once every 2 weekends, and it's just an amazing experience because not only do we teach them like physical skills as well, but we also like develop emotional skills and relationship with them. So we, at the end of the semester, we know them by name. We thought we are like best friends, and we have an amazing experience with them.
That's awesome, and your whole team is involved in that?
And the whole team's involved with that, and like next year we're trying to expand the Buddy Up tennis, hopefully to other club tennis programs that want to include it, because we know like the USTA National Campus offers a Buddy Up program here. So we would think it would be an amazing opportunity for other club tennis teams to like provide kids with like the best thing that we know, which is tennis.
That's awesome. Daniel, I want to ask you, can you picture your life at Notre Dame without having played tennis on campus?
Definitely not. It's been such an integral part of my college career, not only because of the travelings, because it made me like continue working this like life, like studying and like tennis balance that I've had in high school, but also the opportunity of meeting people from all around the country, all around the section is something that's like, I can take this forever. And I know that anywhere I go around the country, I know there's someone up there for me that I'll be able to play tennis with them again.
Awesome. Daniel, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Now back to Brian and Cece.
Brian Clark back with CC Bellis, where we are watching what's turned into the Gavin A10 show here in the National Championship. A10 was part of a 6-0 whitewash in the doubles. Now he's up 4-0 in the men's singles, and he's put his Buckeyes up 10 points on North Carolina, 19-9. Ohio State leads Connor Cook and the Carolina Tar Heels. Cook, one of the senior captains. Cook trying to get himself into this set and just pick up some games at this point. Try to make it manageable for the mixed doubles to follow.
Exactly. Doesn't seem to be finding his spots as well as he would want right now.
He's also had a bit of a hard time getting that first serve in.
His first serve is pretty fast, and he usually places it really well when it goes in, so that would definitely be helpful for him right now, for sure.
See some TCU shirts just behind A10. That's one of the many schools that have hung out to watch this national championship match. And the way things are going, we could see Ohio State winning its first ever national championship. Another double fault. Now it's triple break point. Everything clicking right now for Gavin A10. Carolina fans getting behind Connor Cook as he staves off one of those break points.
Yeah, it was a big game for UNC to hold and get on the board here.
Still have a lot of work to do, though.
Definitely.
What a backhand from Cook. Not going down without a fight as A10 applauds that pretty looking winner.
Huge backhand there. Definitely one of Cook's strengths is that power.
Said how Xandra Lee played varsity tennis when she studied abroad in China. So did Connor Cook. He was in Singapore. Actually plans to head back to Singapore after he graduates from Chapel Hill. Areas of the world you're pretty familiar with from your travels.
Definitely. Yeah, he said he felt like he was in New York when he was over there. New York City, so I can definitely see what he means.
And Cook double faults, and it's now 5-0 for A10 and Ohio State here in the men's singles. A10, a 6-0 win in the men's doubles, and now is a chance to do the same in the singles. 64 teams have been here over the last couple of days playing on every one of these courts you see, and then some. There are, how many courts are here, CC? Have you ever been able to count them all up?
I think there's exactly 100 courts here.
It's a nice round number.
Nice round number. There was going to be 101, and they decided to round it out to 100.
So they've got everything you can need, whether you're a local player, a tennis on campus participant, or a pro like CeCe Bellis, but these players have enjoyed it all. But the way things are going, Ohio State's going to be enjoying it a whole lot more as the Buckeyes lead by 11 points. So to make things manageable, Connor Cook's going to have to find a way to get at least one game here before the mixed doubles. And then Carolina would have to win the mixed doubles and get hot in what they call overtime.
One of the first unforced errors from Gavin Aten there that he's made this whole set. It's been a pretty clean couple games so far.
As clean as you can be between the doubles and the singles. He's yet to drop a game. Connor Cook, though, painting the line with that forehand.
Huge point from him. He's really trying to get on the scoreboard here to hopefully help his mixed doubles team in the next set.
Get on the scoreboard, then hold just as many points as you can right now.
Exactly.
With his team down by 11, 20-9, Ohio State's in front. Once again, Aten can't get it at the net. And here is the chance for Connor Cook. 2 break points to get himself on the board and to bring his Tar Heels to 10 points behind.
That would be ideal for UNC right now.
And the lob does it. Carolina on the board. The perfect streak for Aten is over. Connor Cook, the senior, not going down without a fight. And there he used the lob to do it. Now he's got to do something he has not done in this match, and that's hold serve. Look at maybe Cook is starting to feel it a bit. That was his 4th backhand winner that won that last game. Maybe he's feeling a little bit too much as he fires away on that forehand and finds the net instead. How much less margin do you have? Forget the fact you're down 5-1, but knowing that there's a deciding point, that it could end so quickly, that does every point matter a little bit more then?
Definitely. I think, you feel so much pressure on those deciding points. You don't want to get to that stage of the game. So definitely, trying to play a bit smarter on the points before that. I think that was the forehand he was trying to hit on the last point there.
The forehand he's been trying to hit for most of this match. And that's all you could want. He ran right into that shot.
Perfect placement there.
Caught in no man's land. Now Cook's got to be careful. Throwing caution to the wind with that backhand.
His backhands really seem to have come on and become a strength for him in this match.
He looks very comfortable hitting that shot.
He does. It's really smooth technique, compact, catches the ball in front. That was a shot he needed to make there for UNC.
And now he finds himself down a set point. Gavin Aten, 6-0 in the doubles. And now a chance to win this singles set 6-1. And if you look at his body language, you wouldn't know it. He looks about as cool and calm as can be as he was waiting for Connor Cook to towel off. And now Cook in a point he needs. Down a set point. Oh, and landed in.
Wow.
Great defense from A10 pays off as he does it yet again. He's won 12 of Ohio State's 21 points in this national championship, and the Buckeyes are on the verge of the title.
That was an almost perfect set there from Gavin. Couldn't have gone much better. I think his teammates think the same.
Ohio State sitting pretty entering the mixed doubles, but Carolina has fought back, gotten itself off the mat before, and Tar Heels could do it again. They'll need a big effort to do it, as we've got one set to go, and perhaps a little bit more depending on what happens in the mixed doubles. But let's take a look at that set point right here, where A10 hits the defensive lob, and then the cheeky lob.
Bit of a shank there, but that was perfectly placed. Couldn't have gone better for him.
I think that's why Cook might have been so dejected, knowing he did what he needed to do, but got beat on that kind of ball.
Agreed.
So we've got more fun on court here at the USTA National Campus, one of the 100 courts here in Lake Nona. Brian Clark alongside CeCe Bellis, where Ohio State leads North Carolina 21-10 in the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championship match. CeCe, how would you fare with one of these rackets that we're seeing on court right now?
I've actually held one of those before, and they're very heavy, so it's not as easy as they're making it look.
Ohio State's made things look pretty easy. They're up 11 heading into the mixed doubles. That's next, but right now we've got more action with Andy down on the court. Andy, where are you?
Hi, I'm courtside right now with manager of USTA Tennis on Campus, Newland Wing. Newland, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Newland has a very interesting story on how he got involved in tennis on campus. Newland?
So about 4 years ago, I was actually a player in this event. So I was with Ferris State University. We came to the Nationals. We had won Club Team of the Year. So it's great being back, being able to be a tournament director with our great staff at NIRSA and Valerie McCutcheon. It's been a phenomenal experience. Can't say enough about it.
Newland, how has this match compared to past championship matches in tennis on campus history?
Just like always, we got two strong teams. They're battling it out, and the fun part is it's never over. So we got a little bit of a lopsided score right here, but I think UNC might be able to pull it back and mix, and it's going to be awesome to watch this fifth set.
And just a fun night. We got knockout tennis with huge rackets. We got people throwing chips all around us. The crowd's going crazy. We got a tennis ball throwing sun chips. This is such a great night. Newland, what is your favorite part about this whole weekend?
Someone asked that the other day, and it was hard to answer, but I think what it was just seeing the players on the court with their teams like this, because I remember those days of you meeting players from all across the country. You're with your team, you're with your best friends, and you meet people, and it's just the best experience I had actually in my life. So it's a great experience to be able to bring that to other people.
Awesome. Newland, thank you so much. Stay with us. We got mixed doubles coming up right after this. go for 2 minutes? You want me to go for 2 minutes? Welcome back to the USTA Tennis on Campus National Champions. We got a great one coming up here today. We got mixed doubles just in a moment. But first, I'm very excited to be standing next to an Ohio State legend, Jim Flath, and Kathleen Flath. Jim, how are you doing?
Great. It's really great now.
So the reason I'm saying legend for Jim is because this is the 40th anniversary of something special. Tell me what that is, Jim.
I founded, with 2 other people, I founded this Ohio State club tennis team, 1978.
That's amazing. 40 years ago, and 40 years later, we're standing here on the verge of a national championship. How do you feel about that?
You can't make this stuff up. It's really incredible. I didn't know this was happening until I contacted the president of the club, Izzy, and she told me they'd made this tournament, and we spent our winters in Naples, Florida. And I said, we're going to come up and watch.
That's awesome. Do you still play a little?
I play every day.
You think you could get out here with these guys and mix it up a bit? Cat, little mixed doubles action?
No. I'm way out of my league here.
I could stay on the practice court with them.
Okay, well that's good enough. So as an alumni, as a Buckeye, how much pride do you feel for your school, and how excited are you for these kids?
They've done an amazing job. They've been really good to us. They've been very respectful to what we started 40 years ago. I mean, they'd have a team now. If it weren't for me, it just wouldn't be 40 years, that's all. But they've done an amazing job. Really proud of them.
And you know what goes into a championship. It's a lot of sweat, it's a lot of tears, it's a lot of time training and practicing and the road to get to tennis on campus. But all of this might not have been possible without you, Jim, but also without River, the mascot.
Yeah, River's spectacular. The most laid-back personality. I wish I had that attitude.
Kind of like an Eli Manning, doesn't get too down, doesn't get too up, just even keeled, lets the game come to him, see where we go.
Absolutely, you got it.
Well, Jim, Kath, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm so excited for you guys. So let's enjoy the rest of the mixed doubles, the rest of the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championships. Right back to you and Brian and Cece.
Brian Clark back here with CC Bellis. 1 set to go. It's the mixed doubles, and the way things are going right now, CC, it's going to take one heck of a comeback from North Carolina to win this. Ohio State up big, 21-10. The Buckeyes lead.
Yeah, definitely. I think Ohio State's going to be pretty confident going into this one and have, a lot of no really nerves at all, so it's going to be awesome to see what UNC tries and comes up with here.
Now, the reason why UNC even can still win this is because we play overall games, and the way this mixed doubles goes, if Carolina wins the mixed doubles, and that's the first thing, let's say they win it 6-1, so then they would be down, I'm not good at math here, they'd be down 22-16. If they could then win 6 games in a row, we'd play after that, then they would force a super tiebreak. Long story short, though, it's a big ask.
Definitely.
And Ohio State is well positioned as the Buckeyes will serve first with Noah Stern. It's Noah Stern and Natasha Breeze trying to lock up Ohio State's first ever national title. And we were saying it's Ellie Johnson and Holloman Hughes. Ellie Johnson played 1 point, I think broke a string on her racket. And she's now heading off the court and has a new racket. So we've seen Ellie Johnson before. We have not seen Holloman Hughes. We've seen both of the Ohio State mixed doubles players. And that was what we saw from Noah Stern in the very first set tonight, the men's doubles. Big serving, power. He won that one 6-love along with his teammate Gavin Aten, while we just saw Gavin Aten win his singles match 6-1. Broke another string. Have you ever broken 2 strings in 3 points?
I have not. That is something I have not seen before. Wonder where she was getting those strength. Could be from a guy's serve compared to a girl's serve. That could be something to that.
Ellie Johnson now with another racket. And the Buckeyes pad their lead to 12 points as Stern and Beers hold. And now the comeback for the ages needs to get going for North Carolina here. As North Carolina tries to mount this comeback, let's check in with Andy. Everything's been working for the Buckeyes, and one of those good luck charms is with Andy right now.
I've interviewed a lot of people over the last few weeks, days. I've been here a long time. But none have been a better interview than this Labrador here, River, who is the mascot of Ohio State Buckeyes. River, how's the match going? That's key. That's taken. What do you think they need to do to pull this out? Oh, that's perfect, yes. We've got some great insight from River. River is here cheering on the Buckeyes. We got the doubles match going right now. River, thank you so much for your time. Anything parting to say? River says back to you and Brian and Cece.
I know that me. River probably had more insight on tennis than I do. I don't think about it than you, but I'd probably rather hear from River than from me. But that's one of those things that's working well for the Buckeyes. Everything clicking right now for Ohio State. They're up 12, 22-10. As Holloman Hughes serves. Ellie Johnson putting it away at net.
Great hands by both of the girls there.
And we saw Hughes kind of change the way the point was going, where he was slugging out with Noah Stern. Then all of a sudden, he goes and hits it to Beers. How does that, if you're the other player who's not in that rally, how do you keep yourself... Does it ever happen where you lapse and the other two players are just hitting it at each other?
Yeah, definitely, especially on long points. You can definitely lose focus, and you just have to try and get it back as soon as possible, especially if they're hitting to you on the next shot.
A lot of topspin on that forehand from Hughes, who took the shot before it out of the air.
Nice swinging volley there in the air. Don't see many guys doing that.
Carolina on the verge of getting on the board. Tar Heels still trail by 12. 22-10, Ohio State leads. Double fault for Hughes, who's from the area. We talked about how every Ohio State player is from Ohio. Most of the North Carolina players are from the Tar Heel State. But Holloman Hughes and his brother Nelson, they're both from Lakeland, Florida. I think they told us before their family has been attending North Carolina since the early 1800s. The two brothers carrying on the tradition. We saw Nelson Hughes play in the men's doubles. Holloman Hughes and Ellie Johnson on the board here in the mixed, 1-all. Ohio State leads by 11, 22-11.
Definitely, they were probably happy to get that game and get on the board here to try and come back and level the score.
The other factor to keep in mind, you said this is the biggest run Ohio State club tennis has ever made. So there's that pressure, and there's the pressure of closing it out, where North Carolina, they're down by 11 right now, so you're not really expecting them to win. Where Ohio State, you have the expectation on top of you.
Definitely.
Noah Stern not showing any pressure there. As we take another look. Very simple poach. Impressive net play from Noah Stern.
Really good hands there and volleys, reactions from him.
Natasha Breeze teamed with Paige Carmichael to win the women's double set 6-3 over Ellie Johnson and her teammate Claire Lieberman. That was good. Check this one out. Great play at net.
Perfectly placed there, right on the line.
Ohio State goes up 2-1, and now by 12 points once again, 23-11. Ellie Johnson serving. A little too hot from Hughes.
Going for a little too much power there, but Natasha Beers getting out of the way nicely.
Hughes had to get out of the way of that volley from Stern.
Thought he was going to take that first one, but decided not to at the last minute.
Stern going for it again. That's the shot you can take when you're up by 12 points for the match.
Yeah, it definitely was going to be a good change up there. Would have been a winner if he made it for sure.
We haven't seen a whole lot of winners from the baseline.
Yeah.
We see them in net, we see them in the middle of rallies, but and I think that probably speaks to the patience we see from these players.
Definitely, I think that's been the best part about Ohio State's all their matches so far tonight is they've all been super patient. And their defense has been really good as well.
And now Ohio State's got 2 break points to go up 3-1. And more importantly, by 13 points overall. That'd be their largest lead of this championship. And that's where they are. Ohio State breaks. They lead 3-1 in the mixed, and on the big scoreboard, they're up 24-11. Buckeyes closing in on their first ever national title here at the USTA National Campus. As they switch ends, you also start to think if we'll maybe see a sub or two, both in terms of trying to stop the momentum or just give some of the players who haven't been on the court tonight a chance to get on the court and appear in this national championship match. Match that it seems like is going to go Ohio State's way. Although it's not over yet. If Carolina can come back from this breakdown, win this set, and then rattle off a whole bunch of games in a row, we'll decide the title in a super tiebreak. But the way things are going right now, that does not seem like it's going to be the case. And a lot of people winning things earlier on tonight, all sorts of giveaways here at the Tennis on Campus National Championship. Andy is with some of the lucky winners.
He's getting the racket.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Oh.
2 years ago, the Auburn Tigers won the TOC National Championship. You guys have done that before. This year you had a different journey.
We did.
First, introduce yourselves.
My name is Will McWirt.
My name is Nathan Wong.
And who do we got coming up here? Come on, we're live. Come on. Who do we got?
We have Marshall Brown.
Marshall Brown. You guys came. You already had a national championship. What did you just accomplish?
So 2 years ago, we won the small racket national championship. So the only thing really left on our plate was the big racket national championship. So now we feel like we've kind of had a full course meal. We've kind of tried it all. We've had everything.
I like that. So how did you prepare for this?
How to prepare, you see hours and hours in the gym. Anyone can play with a normal racket. This takes hours and hours in the gym working out.
As you're a champion now, how do you feel?
Oh, I feel amazing. This is the biggest accomplishment of my life. Nothing can top this.
Guys, thank you so much. War Eagle, back to Brian and Cece.
Back to you, Cece. Call me. Was that good? Did I get that in there?
Back here where Ohio State is looking to nail down its first ever national championship here at the Tennis on Campus National Championships from the USTA National Campus. In Lake Nona, Florida, Brian Clark back with CeCe Bellis. The showmanship from Stern going behind the back and not missing by much.
Very good try there. That was a lot closer than I think he even thought it was going to be, and that was going to be awesome if that went in.
Carolina players applauding that one. As Stern serving here with Carolina up 3-1 in this mixed doubles, and more importantly 24-11 on the cumulative scoreboard. So Ohio State can make this really easy and just win the mixed doubles. They win the championship. If North Carolina can mount a comeback, then we would play on until Ohio State wins a game or until North Carolina scores as many points as Ohio State has, and that would be a whole lot. So things looking pretty rosy right now for the Buckeyes. Noah Stern, only a freshman. His teammate in the men's doubles, Gavin Aten, a sophomore. His teammate here in the mixed, Beers, she's a junior, so this Ohio State team could be right back here next year.
Definitely, and it looks like it from the way they're playing tonight.
Chance here for North Carolina. And we'll play another deciding point, something else that Ohio State's fared well in throughout this championship match.
Definitely, they have not lost many. They've been playing very aggressive on them.
And another deciding point goes to Ohio State. So Ohio State now goes up 4-1 in this set. And 25-11 on the scoreboard. Buckeyes 2 games away. As Holloman Hughes, I think he might have broken a racket string or just wants a new racket. Holloman Hughes told us he just started eating vegetables. Actually, more accurately, I should say his teammates told us he just started eating vegetables last summer.
Yep. Fun fact.
It's the diet of a pro tennis player, right?
Exactly.
He couldn't quite tell us which one his favorite was yet, but I guess that we'll check back in the future. He's only a sophomore, so he could be back here next year. Trying to prolong this national championship, though. What a shot from Stern, and Hughes could only applaud it.
Just timed that perfectly there.
Pretty good serve from Hughes.
Yeah, definitely.
And Noah Stern just absolutely unloaded on the forehand. As the Buckeyes continue to close in on this national title. Hughes with a forehand of his own.
Looks like that new racket's helped him so far.
As we take another look from the sophomore, all starts with that serve. And all finishes with that forehand.
Saw Noah Stern moving a little bit too early towards the middle of the court there.
Too much pace from Hughes, and now Tar Heels down a break point. Ohio State leads this 25-11. Theoretically, the Buckeyes just a couple of points away. Beers went for it. a little bit long. We'll play a deciding point.
Gender to gender on these deciding points.
So that means Hughes will be serving to Noah Stern. Second deciding point of this mixed doubles set. Beers going for the poach, but left it a little bit wide, and North Carolina does something they haven't done too often tonight, win a deciding point.
Very important for them if they want to keep their hopes alive here.
They still need more of those, down 13 points now. It's 25-12 Ohio State. Buckeyes lead at 4-2 in this fifth and final set with Natasha Beers to serve. And she'll serve first to the freshman Ellie Johnson. North Carolina hanging around here because if the Tar Heels can win this mixed double set, then we'll go into overtime where North Carolina basically will play until they lose a game or until they match Ohio State on the scoreboard. That would be a ways to go, but it's still hope.
And they would play a deciding tie break. They would end up matching the score.
They have to win 13 games.
Tall task.
And if, depending on, they have to win 13 games right now, and if they get to overtime, they can't lose a game.
Right.
So yeah, theoretically they could. And we're getting ahead of ourselves at talking about North Carolina's way back in as Ohio State's won 2 points in a row on the Natasha Beers serve. Both of these teams represent tennis clubs at their universities. Each has over 100 members.
It's a great move there.
We'll see it again, what Holloman Hughes was able to do here.
He saw that so early. Crossed as quick as he could. Another deciding point.
It's the third deciding point in 7 games here in this mixed doubles set. And now a second serve for Beers. North Carolina takes another deciding point, and suddenly the Tar Heels down by just 1 in this set, still down by 12, 25-13. Ohio State leads, but North Carolina continues to fight on. They were down by 7 points this morning against Stanford entering the mixed doubles. They won that. This is a much taller order.
If Ohio State would have won both of those last deciding points, they would have won already.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it can just turn.
Something we talked about in the women's doubles when that started with back-to-back deciding points. How different the match could have been. Ohio State won both of them. If North Carolina had won both of those, completely different.
Who knows what would have happened?
Carolina's got some momentum here. All Ohio State has to do is win 2 more games, and they're the national champions. But North Carolina, Ellie Johnson, Holloman Hughes not making that easy for Beers and Stern. That miss just a bit long. What a shot from Stern.
Perfectly close return there. Took that early.
He smacked that. He punished that ball just when it looked like Carolina was grabbing a sliver of momentum. He slammed the door shut. Break point here for Ohio State. And they'll get a look at a second serve from the freshman, Ellie Johnson. And Ohio State 1 game away from the national title. Up 5-3 here in the mixed doubles. And they are doubling up North Carolina, 26-13 on the scoreboard. So 1 changeover, perhaps 1 last changeover.
Welcome back courtside. It's your boy Andy. I'm here with a guest. Your name is?
I'm David from Rutgers University.
Rutgers University. David, can you imagine your life at Rutgers without playing tennis on campus?
No, I couldn't.
What's your experience been like, not just at Tennis on Campus in Rutgers, but here this weekend at the USTA Tennis on Campus National Championships?
No, I'm just so proud of our team for being here, competing hard. We improved so much from last year coming into this year, so I'm just really glad I'm here and everyone's having a good time. So,
are you a senior, a junior?
I'm a sophomore.
So you're coming back next year?
Yep, hopefully.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with me. It's been a pleasure. Back to Brian and Cece.
Clark, Cece Bellis back here at the USTA National Campus for the Tennis on Campus National Championship, which looks like it's going to be Ohio State in just a couple of moments. Buckeyes doubling up the Tar Heels 26-13, but Cece, as we see Noah Stern and Natasha Beers head back out, you've said before, you're based here on the national campus. These players getting to experience it. Just what kind of place is this like where you are literally immersed in tennis?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. You have, like we said earlier, about 100 courts, all different surfaces, a couple different surfaces of hard court. You've got green and red clay, so you've got pretty much everything you need here. It's awesome that these players are getting to see it.
Ohio State now needs just 3 more points until the national title. Noah Stern serving up 15-love now. Buckeyes lead it 26-13. It's total games won. Buckeyes got off to a flying start as Stern and Gavin Aten won the doubles 6-0 to get things going, and they have not looked back since. Huge serve. There's no radar gun here, but that would have been into the triple digits.
Definitely. His serves worked so well for him today.
Buckeyes won the double 6-0. Carolina came back. Alexandra Lee won the singles 6-3. But Stern just showing off right now. It's triple championship point for the Ohio State Buckeyes, thanks to that from Noah Stern. Just a freshman, but the national championship, the first ever for Ohio State on his racket. Ellie Johnson finding the gap.
I think Natasha Beers thought that serve might have been a let there.
Still a few more championship points to work with for the Buckeyes. Once again on Noah Stern's racket. Natasha Beers, his partner. And the Buckeyes are champs.
What a moment for Ohio State, their first ever tennis on campus national championship, and they take it in emphatic fashion as they win it 27-13 over North Carolina. In Buckeye Nation, a whole lot to cheer about. Just solid performances from start to finish, Cece.
Yeah, they started off so well with that 6-0 set and obviously finished amazing with this one, so good for them tonight.
Ohio State, I think we'll hear from them in a couple of moments, but the players right now shaking hands on court with each other and among themselves. Just really impressive stuff from everybody. I would say what's the turning point, but you win the opening set 6-0. That sets the tone right there. But you've got to go back to what Lily O'Toole did, the freshman, coming off the bench after Adrian Young lost the first 2 games in the women's singles. She didn't win the set, but she won 3 games and kept Carolina from drawing completely even. That really got things going in the right direction for Ohio State, and they never looked back. 27-13, the Buckeyes win as they get their trophy now. And that's the senior captain, the lone senior, Izzy Najedlik, lifting the trophy high along with her co-captain, Wesley Piekarski. And that just goes to show the tennis on campus experience. Piekarski and Najedlik, they didn't play in this match, but they still run the show here. So right now they're going to come up here and join us. They've got their flag. I wonder if River the dog will come up here. Here come the Buckeyes to join us here at the USTA National Campus. We await their arrival, just like Wimbledon. Escorted to the winner's balcony here.
Good job, guys. Thank you. Awesome.
Here come the victorious Buckeyes. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, Izzy, you can stand right here with the trophy.
So she's got to get them 2 and then all of you guys. So if you guys want to come more over here in the middle, like not you guys.
Okay, we're here with the victorious Ohio State Buckeyes, your 2018 USTA Tennis on Campus national champions. We're here with Izzy Najedlik. She's the team captain. Izzy, you're the only senior on this team. You relied on your youth. How did you guys win this?
Oh, gosh. They're all so good, as witnessed. And we all believe in each other. And, yeah, this team is amazing. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Pretty amazing performance from Gavin. Where's Gavin?
Yeah, Gavin,
So, Gavin, you played 13 games, you won 12, you lost 1 between the doubles and the singles. So the first question, how did you lose 1? No, I'm just kidding. How did you do what you did tonight?
Everyone we played was really great. I mean, our opponents were definitely really strong. I just went out there and just tried to make more balls. I don't know. That's it. That's literally, yeah.
That's it. What he does. What did winning the doubles 6-0, what kind of message did that send?
I think it definitely set like a good message for us, telling them, you know, we're going to come out fighting and we're going to come out strong. And we kept up that, yeah.
And then the message that followed, Lily, you step over here, because the message that followed, where it looked like North Carolina could level things, but you come off the bench and get 3 games in your singles match. You didn't win the match, but that seems to just show this format where every single game matters. How important was that? How did you kind of rally when you got off the bench?
Oh goodness, I definitely was not expecting that, but I think that just shows you how much of a team this is, that we can literally just step in for one another and play our game, and it, like, none of us are like, you know, it's not awkward or anything, but I honestly don't even remember it. I really don't. I think I was as you could tell, I thought that it was her serve, but it wasn't. So I don't even remember what the question was, but
That was it. It was the question was exactly what you just did. It was you came off the bench and did your job, and now you kept your team in the match.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Wesley, we'll talk to you. You're a sophomore?
I am, yeah.
So as a sophomore, one of the captains, though, to see your fellow young players doing this, how encouraging is that for this program now going forward?
It's really, really encouraging, knowing that we have all these people returning except Izzy, which will be missed dearly.
And River.
And River, of course. And River. But just knowing that we'll always have these group of kids around for the next couple of years, and going off this win will be really, really encouraging for the rest of the time.
Okay, I think it's time for the Buckeyes to get their trophies and get their championship medals, because the Ohio State Buckeyes, the 2018 Tennis on Campus National Champions. Congratulations, everybody. Well done. And now we got some parents here as well. Okay, but I think you guys have to make your way down to the court. So the parents can come on in. Parents, come on in. Players, head down to the court. There, watch the cables. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my God, you're amazing.
We're coming in, right?
Yeah. I'll be there in a minute.
Okay, so we are here with some of the victorious Ohio State parents. What's your name, sir?
Martin Beers.
Okay, so your daughter's Natasha.
That's correct.
Pretty proud of her effort?
Oh man, she played phenomenal. Yeah, really well.
What's this experience been like? You guys are tennis parents, so sometimes that can get a bad rap where you guys aren't, but okay, tennis parents, you're going to tournaments, there's a lot that goes with that, but now you come here, this is fun, right?
This was an incredible, kind of it was a bit of a journey at the beginning to see how far they'd get, and then you started winning and they were on a roll, and it was like, wow, this is phenomenal. So unlike Midwest tennis where we're from, playing individual tournaments, this was a real team event, and that's really what made it interesting. And with all the parents last night, one of the parents said at the dinner goes, man, I just love all these people that I'm meeting here. So it was just a really fun event.
Is that the same with everybody? Everybody feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely. Team spirit, teamwork.
This Ohio State team, a whole lot to be excited about. The 2018 USTA Tennis on Campus National Champions. And they're down on court right now. Let's take a listen. Ohio State, the 2018 USTA Tennis on Campus National Champions, a start-to-finish comprehensive 27-13 win over the runner-up North Carolina Tar Heels. It all began with a 6-0 win in the men's doubles, but it was really a team effort for the Buckeyes. Let's take a look at how they did it.
And we'll take your picture over there. First in the copper division, the finalist and runner-up, Virginia Tech.
Men's doubles player for Ohio State in Noah Stern and Gavin Ayton. That really set them in the right direction.
Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest keys for Ohio State to win today was that first match, and I think that really put them in the right place for the end of the night.
And here's another big moment for Ohio State where Xandra Lee, the North Carolina women's singles player, she's up big, but Lily O'Toole comes off the bench, wins a couple games, and keeps Ohio State ahead. Then the women's doubles, a couple of deciding points. They all went Ohio State's way, and that was a huge factor for the Buckeye tandem of Natasha Beers and Paige Carmichael as they took down Ellie Johnson and Claire Lieberman. This one, I would say the closest match, 6-3. It went Ohio State's way. And then the men's singles, Connor Cook, the senior captain for North Carolina, but once again, Gavin Ayton for Ohio State turned out to just be a bit too much. Ayton, as we said before, he played 13 games. He won 12. He lost just one. wasn't losing this game. Cook loved hitting that backhand. He hit it well, but ultimately it just seemed like A10 just more patient, just not missing.
Just so solid tonight. He did pretty much everything right. Like you said, he played 13 games tonight and won 12 of them, so pretty perfect night.
And then the mixed doubles, North Carolina would have needed to mount quite a comeback. The team of Holloman Hughes and Ellie Johnson, and they fought, especially late, where it looked like Ohio State, the team of Noah Stern and Natasha Beers, was going to run away with it. And with shots like that, Stern put it away in style. Buckeyes won that game, that set 6-3, and they win their first ever national championship, 27-13 here at the USTA National Campus. A pretty trophy for the lone senior on this team, the captain, Izzy Najedlik, with her co-captain, just a sophomore, Wesley Pekarski. So, a lot of young players for this Ohio State team, and I think, Cece, that means we could see this Ohio State team back here in a year to try to defend this title.
Yeah, definitely. With so many young players on this team, it's going to be such a strong team in the future, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see them back in the next few years.
And even what Ohio State does, North Carolina, we see them on court right now, it's just been fun. It's been a fun experience for all 64 of these teams, all the players here at the USTA National Campus.
Definitely. I think that was the best part of this tournament so far, and the best part of tonight was just seeing how much fun everyone had and how much fun we had even watching it.
I was going to say, I've had a blast with you, Cece. Best of luck the rest of the year for you professionally on tour. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. For Cece Bellis, for our entire team, our executive producer is Brian Beglane. I'm Brian Clark. Ohio State, your 2018 USTA Tennis on Campus National Champions. Good night from Orlando.